Okay, we've got the John Deere 2030 hydraulic lift cover on a engine stand, and I can turn the engine stand around and service the top or the bottom. Now, to strip this housing, as in I'm not going to strip the back end here, I don't need to do that, the shafts, but I will pull the lift cylinder out and we'll run through that because that's a complicated thing if you've never seen one, and it's not too difficult, so you should be able to do it after being shown how. So look, first up I've got an 1 1/16 spanner. I've got a heap of spanners. I've got a 15mm. Now John Deere, you think it's all imperial, well think again. I've got a 9/16 spanner, a 15 ring open ender, a couple of small pin punches and a knockometer. So what I like to start off by doing is I remove the rear filler cap here out of the way. We don't need that there. Now mine pulls apart, so old Bear needs to give that a nice bath and probably glue it back together. I probably don't need a new one, but we'll see. Now this cap here, we can take it right out, and the job of this is to adjust your rate of drop. There's a ball sits in here and you'll see a little ball down the end there, and look, at this stage whether you take that right out or not, it doesn't matter, but if you roll it over and take the cylinder out, you'll end up with a 1/2 inch ball rolling around, and yeah, look, that's just off your rate of drop. Now on the end of your cylinder here you have a bolt that a 9/16 spanner fits. We need to undo that. I haven't got a bench just near me here, it's just we're out of the wind today and we're just trying to video, so see how much we can get done. So this bolt at the front there, we can undo that. Now there's another 9/16 head bolt over here. No need to touch that, nothing to do with it, you just don't need to. So we'll pop that off there. I'll pick up my 1 1/16 that I just dropped. Now you'll notice here, I'm just trying to make space for myself. Now this here, some tractors have that and some don't. The early tractors have it. If you have it, undo it. If not, it won't be your concern. If you're working on probably a 40 series, I don't think they had it. These 30s did. It's just an oil take off. You can actually check your pressure in there if you want to, but no need. So we'll pull that out, and that's just a fitting. It seals in the housing here, and that actually screws into your yellow lift cylinder. So I'll take all these spanners out of the way and I'll turn this over, get my arm in under the tripod here. And there's a little ball for the rate of drop that fell out. You often get a new one in the kit, and they're very rarely ever worn. And that's your lift cylinder from underneath. So I'll come around this end now just to try and stay out of the light and all a little bit. Now you'll see this little lever here. I'll shift the monitor a bit so I can just see what you can see. Yep, and this fella here, the pin's offset. If you take note, the tall side, the fattest part of the housing sits up. So look, what we need to do is just drop that roll pin out. Now if you're not sure you're going to remember how that is, put a little centre punch mark there and a little centre punch mark there. You can just as a witness mark to let you know where you were, but this little lever, you can see the roll pin on its way out. Now, I'm not sure I got the right size punch for this anymore. This punch, I use them that much, I keep breaking them and buggering them up, so I may not have one exactly the right size. Well, that's still turning, so we're not too far out. I'm just keeping turning and making sure I'm not getting myself all jammed up in there. I might bring that lever back over. I'll just grab my side cutters and grab onto that. Okay, back again. If you have the right size roll pin, it's a bloody sight easier. But anyway, okay, so that's loose now. You can move this lever without anything happening there. Now, this little link here, you see a little bar just across there. That's held in by a little E-clip on the front only. And so the front has the E-clip. The back part, it slides on the lever here. Now, that's to do with draft control, so there's no real need to upset that. I'll drop this lever out of the way again. And now we have that off, we can move this lever up out of the way. And we'll grab our 9/16 spanner. There's 3 bolts here that hold the lever housing on. Have a look, mine's been all welded up here, and I'll have a look. It looks like there's a crack here, so that'll get revisited before it goes back together. That gasket, when I took it off, it's actually a paper gasket, and that was quite tight, so it grabbed on well, this one. Feels like it's got a bit of a bend in it to me. Perhaps it has, perhaps it hasn't. We'll just give it a... There's a little O-ring on here, just in there, that stops the oil from leaking out. Now that's a tight one. Usually they fall out a lot easier than that, so I suspect... Yeah, you can see hammer marks here where it might have been straightened at some stage. Anyway, not to worry. That won't upset us. And now this fella here can come out, and what we look for here is just that that roller's in good order. But we'll revisit all that once we go back together. No big deal just yet. Now, right down the bottom, you'll see a spring, right just down in this bit here. This lever here, your draft lever, well, I've just got him up out of the way, but there's a little spring that holds tension, and it holds tension on here. So we just need to pop that spring off down the bottom here. There we go. And so that can pop off. And this end here with the, where are we? Over there. You'll see that the eyes, if I get it over there, the eyes, there's one in the centre and one offset. The offset one's the one that goes to the back. And all we need to do now to get the cylinder off is undo these 4 15mm bolts. Now this is where your 15mm comes into it. So these can be bloody tight. I've also seen these break off and drop into the guts of the diff. That's never a good day. That camera doesn't look in half as good a position as it was before. But anyway, we're just about there. We're not going to worry about that just at the moment. This push rod here, we used to call them a donkey deck. Call it what you like. If you went to Spare Parts and says, oh, I need a bloody donkey deck, well that's what they gave you. Okay, this cylinder is now loose and we can lift him out. And there's a couple of packings here, another one down here, and that's just dismantling the lift cover. Like I say, I'm not going to do the back end here. I was happy with that. There's a bit of slop in those splines, but look, it's my tractor. I'm not going to go there. I don't feel there's a need. And that's just stripping the cylinder, how to get the cylinder out of your lift cover. So what you end up with is a almost bare lift cover. Now this rod here, over the time, people used to put their foot on this draft lever. If it wouldn't go in, they'd put their foot on it and they'd bend this. It would bend either up or down or sideways, and that would make your hydraulics not work properly. So just make sure that's at right angles. If it's not, it just should be straight and at 90 at the end there. Take it out if you need to and just put it on the anvil or on the vise and bash it straight. And this piece here, he's hooked to your linkage arms, and as your arms lift, we have the cam here that helps them cancel out, but this is also a cancel out device. Now, I didn't think these early tractors had this. I think this mainly come in the 50 series, but we used to retrofit them to the shaft. So that's it for that part of it. When we get into this system here and the control valves and all that sort of thing, that's worth the video on its own. So yeah, we'll see how we go with that, eh?